Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I want to walk you through a quick but really useful technique for locating hidden canal orifices, especially in, calcified chambers or teeth with more complex anatomy. It's called the champagne bubble test. And yeah, it's one of those things that once you start using it, it kind of becomes second nature. It's fast, it's visual, and it can really save you from over troughing or missing a canal altogether. So here's how it works. Once you've completed your access and you've done your initial cleanup, like just removing the pulp tissue and smoothing the walls a bit, you'll want to isolate well with a rubber dam and make sure everything is dry except for the hypochlorite you're going to use. And one thing to be really careful about here is turning off your air water syringe. Any air in the chamber can create false bubbles, and that completely defeats the point of the test. So from here on out, suction only. Then just take fresh sodium hypochlorite, usually somewhere between 3 to 5%, and gently flood the pulp chamber. You're not blasting it in, just letting it settle over the floor. A shallow pool is all you need. And if the solution is body temperature, like around 37 degrees Celsius, it tends to react a bit more actively. So that helps. Now you wait. Under loops or a microscope, you just watch the chamber floor, give it maybe 10, 15 seconds. You're looking for a very fine stream of bubbles coming up from a single focused point. It looks almost like champagne, just that thin vertical fizz from one tiny spot. And that's the key. If you see bubbles rising from multiple areas or they're just sort of drifting across the surface, it's probably just trapped air or stirred debris. But when it's that one steady vertical stream, that's where you want to focus. At that point, take a small ultrasonic tip or a long shank round burr and just gently trough in the direction of the bubbling. Really light strokes, maybe 1 or 2 millimeters, just enough to start opening things conservatively. Then stop and reflood the chamber. If the bubbling becomes more pronounced, that's a really good sign you're in the right area. After that, bring in a small K file, something like a size 6 or 8, and gently probe the spot. If the file drops in or seats with that little click feeling, then you've most likely found the canal. And a lot of the time when the file goes into the orifice, the bubbling just stops because, you've displaced the solution inside the canal and there's no more exposed tissue reacting at the surface. To double check, you can place a fine paper point into the same location. If it comes out with a narrow brownish stain or even just a small wet mark at the tip, that usually confirms you've found the path. From there, you can rinse, reflood, and begin creating your glide path. This test really shines in situations like MB2 canals and maxillary molars, where they often hide along the developmental groove, or in mandibular molars with calcified mesial roots, where you're not quite sure if you're looking at ML, MM, or even a mid-mesial variation. It's also super helpful in retreatment cases, where it's hard to tell the true canal from a previous false start. And if you're dealing with C-shaped molars, you'll sometimes see multiple small bubble streams along the floor that actually help map out where those slit-like orifices are hiding. A couple of small things to keep in mind. Make sure you're using fresh sodium hypochlorite. The older it is, the weaker the reaction. And if the floor is very light or reflective, a quick wipe with methylene blue followed by a rinse can really help you see the bubbles better. Just gives you more contrast. And yeah, just be patient. Sometimes it takes a few seconds. You don't want to stir the solution or blow on it or anything. Just let it sit quietly and let the biology show you where to look. All right, that's it for today's walkthrough. I hope this gives you something practical to try in your next complex access. If you do give it a shot, feel free to share your experience. I'd love to hear how it goes for you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.